we think of email as being a sort of like a linear process. You load up your data, you create your email, you send it, you analyze, you move on to the next one. In reality, it's much more of a sort of like a continual cycle, and in analyzing the performance of your previous email campaigns really gives you the information that you need to refine, retarget, and improve your campaigns. So it's sort of surprising that roughly 17 to 20% of people never actually go back and look at the performance of their campaigns, especially when it can give you such useful information, not just at a campaign level, but really at a granular user type level. The sort of things that you can look at, these are fairly standard across email platforms. Delivery, so in an ideal world, the number of emails that you send will be the number of emails which are delivered. In reality, it's not usually like that. You can measure the number of people who are opening, either as a total or as a percentage. The people who are, it could be that clicks is not the objective of your campaign, but it generally is. So you can measure not only the people who are opening, but then who are going on to click the links and interact with the content in some way, and probably the unsubscribes as well. They're the typical things that you would see in most email systems. You can also look at things sort of derived metrics. CTO is click to open rate. So not just the people who open the email as a relationship to the number of delivered, but to the people who open it and then go on to click the link. And this can give you a really good relative measure between one campaign and another campaign, for example. And the same with unsubscribes. So the people who open the email and then go on to unsubscribe. You can also look at other things as well. They're the standard things. The non-standard things, it could be an objective of your campaign if you're particularly interested in brand development, to see how many people share that information, for example. And you can also set things like commercial goals. So these could be the download of a white paper, for example, if you're in the B2B space, or it could be an actual physical purchase if you're in the commerce space. So these allow you to actually have real commercial justification for your email campaigns. You can also look at a whole raft of other behavioral type things, where they're going to on your website, what pages they're browsing, and so on and so forth. And again, all this information is giving you information back that you can then use to retarget. What should you expect? These results are from our survey of roughly 2 billion emails in a year, but they're largely in line with the DMA versions. So delivery, as long as you're using relatively fresh data that you're emailing on a fairly regular basis, data decays at around about 40% per year. So you should be looking at a delivery of around about 97%, or a bounce rate of around about 3%. Opens is currently slightly over 24%. This is average across all industries, across all sectors. It changes a lot day by day, quarter by quarter, sector by sector. It can be as low as 10%, it can be as high as 67%, something like that, but typically 24%. Clicks, roughly 3%. Unsubscribes, typically less than 0.5%, and the CTO and the UTOs in excess of 10%, lower than roughly 3%. Again, there's a lot of variability in those things, but these are just figures which are taken from our average benchmark reports.